Good morning. This is Global Val here in San Francisco. It's International Women's Day, and a lot of people around the country have decided to strike today. I decided not to strike. However, incidentally, I had the day off. So, I decided to participate in some of the activities and actions that are happening here in San Francisco. Later today, there will be a rally at Civic Center. However, this morning, I'm going to go visit a friend, Ms. E.K. Keith, teacher librarian, went to the March on Washington. I interviewed her on my show, Women's Magazine, on March 3rd. You can listen to that at mutinyradio.fm. E.K. Keith and her colleagues at Burton High School here have decided not to strike because if you're not there, you can't have the conversation. So instead, they've decided to have a day run by women. And so they've invited panelists, including many of our local elected officials, both on the Board of Supervisors in the city, also the Board of Education, women from different walks of life, different career paths, to come and talk to the students today. They've also organized 35-minute workshops throughout the afternoon hosted by artists and writers like yourself in order to bring students a perspective, an artistic perspective on what it means to celebrate International Women's Day and for the status of women in the United States right now, which is definitely strong but being threatened by an administration, president and vice president, who, in my opinion, are two sides of the same coin, but on both sides feel superior to women. On one side, you have the moralistic, oppressive side, and Mike Pence, who's authored and signed numerous laws to help limit women's rights to their own health care, for example, and has also come out strongly in favor of trying to transform people's sexual orientation. So someone who's just not accepting of women or nonconformist gender roles. And that's with the vice president. On the other side of the coin, you have the president, who may actually really support women's liberation as long as it's sexual liberation. Someone who's employed women for, throughout his career, given them lots of opportunities. However, in his deeds and actions has continued to show that he too feels superior to women, treating them like objects, and insulting them based purely on their looks and his opinion of their physical appearance, which is reinforcing a lot of negative stereotypes about women and girls. And so I wanted to be a part of this today to bring them a little bit of my perspective from community radio. And what I get to do every Friday afternoon at Mutiny Radio is, one, in Women's Magazine, explore women's issues. And I've learned a lot since I started doing that show. I was initially asked to do that show as part of KPFA 94.1, which is part of the Pacifica Network, one of the largest public radio stations in the country, network across the country, rather. And I've learned a lot about women and women's issues just by focusing on these issues myself and in my own time and research. Of course, speaking from my own experience as well, but also from a lot of the guests who I've had. But in addition to that, another show that I host called The Common Thread Collective on mutinyradio.fm is a community open mic. So we call it an open door, open mind, open heart, open mic, because we welcome everybody in. It doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter how much money or social status you have. You could be a street musician, you could be a traveler, you could be a poet, you could be a musician, you could be a politician. You you could be an anarchist. You could be anything, and we're gonna bring you into the conversation and see what you have to say and what you have to contribute to the world. And it's often things that aren't getting said and aren't getting spread in other mainstream ways. And so I want to wish everybody a happy International Women's Day. I hope that this takes off in the United States. It's traditionally not widely recognized in the United States. But today, I think, is a turning point, and we're going to take things further, and we're going to open the conversation more, and we're going to show the world that women and our participation in society should not be undervalued, as it often is. And so, thank you. Today's March 8th, 2017. I'm Global Val. Peace.